Oh, welcome to Easter. Easter 24. Let's see if my beloved Rotherham United will get relegated today. Hey. Don't know. Don't know is the answer to that. We've just been live watching Bristol City versus Leicester City. Worst player of the game, James Vardy, absolutely useless ball of crap. I think my daughter could have put two of those 4 or 5 chances he had away. I just don't. Well, no, not exactly, but they were pretty. They should have been pretty easy for a Premiership striker against an obvious middle of the road Championship club. So we saw Bristol City 2 passes, and it was at the feet of Mehmete to just score it in the net. 2 passes all the way from one box to the other, and then bang in the net. Beautiful strike, beautiful goal, well worked, and it was done on the break, not high press like I thought it would. But Bristol City high pressed, flummoxed Leicester City for most of the first half, and came away with all the opportunities in the first half. I don't think Leicester City really had a great amount of chances. The ones they did went to James Vardy, and he skyrocketed them. Second half, Leicester City came out a little bit stronger, did a little bit more work. They were on the front foot for a fair amount of time, probably about 30 minutes. No, probably about 20 minutes. And then in the last sort of 25 minutes, Bristol City made a change and started to pull that back, went ahead, and they were. I don't think they were really going to get stopped. There were a couple of really bad mistakes at the back, but you're okay because Vardy was the one to try and shoot and skyrocketed them. On the one where he didn't skyrocket it, he gave it to one of his colleagues, and he tapped it wide of the post. So again, another open net. Vardy decided not to go for the open net, pass it sideways, and neither of them could get the ball on target. At the minute, it's Millwall 1, West Brom 1, with 84 minutes gone. We're going to go through the teams. I'm just going to go through the team. Nobody's watching. I'll go through the teams. Cardiff City, Havarth, NG, Gutas, Phillips, and Esbrand at the back. Bowler, Wintle, Colwill, Rawls, and O'Dowda midfield, and Carlin Grant up front. Sunderland, Patterson with Hume, Ballard, 09 and Styles at the back. I don't particularly like that defence. That's a bit one-sided. I think that's a bit one-sided. Midfield, Neil, Ekwa, and Rig. Yeah, not bad. And front of Uchiche, Bellingham, and Barr. Attacking when that side needs more. I think that side needs more midfield. It's just not balanced enough for me. The sides are all starting to come out now. Huddersfield versus Coventry. Huddersfield, Nichols with Pearson, Hellick, and Bolka at the back. A really strong 5 midfield of Rudoni, Kasumu, Hogg, Matos, and Headley. Good strong midfield. Berg, Zoig, and Kuroma up front. Coventry, though, I think will be slightly too much for them. Collins with Thomas, Latabodier, and Kitching at the back. Evic, Eccles, Schaaf, and Bidwell in midfield. And up front, Wright, Palmer, and Sims. They're going to go for it. Hull, Stoke City. Hull City. Also at the back, Coyle, Jones, McLaughlin, and Giles at the back. Midfield of Philogene, Slater, Cavallo, Sen, and Zarori. And Ohio up front. Okay. Stoke City, Iverson at the back, Hoover, Rose, McNally, and Stevens. Midfield, Kundal, Laurent, and Thompson. And up front, Hacks, May, and Lenz. Right, can't see much of a. I don't really like the front, the attacking side of that. Norwich versus Plymouth. Norwich, Gunn with Stacey, Sorensen, Gibson, McCallum. Midfielders Sarah, Nunes, Barnes, McLean, and Saints. Bloody hell. And up front, Josh Sargent. Wow. They should be getting more out of them than that. They really should. They can play so much better than they are doing. Plymouth, Cooper at the back with Phillips, Gibson, and Galloway in front of him. Midfield of Serinola, Randall, Horton, and Miller. This team is basically not going up, not going down. So they've thrown three up front: Whitaker, Hardy, and Divine. Yeah, shall we get it? Shall we not? Doesn't really matter. Not going anywhere. Preston, Rotherham. Preston, Woodman with Story, Lindsay, Hughes, Home, Brown, McCann, and Bradley in midfield. And then Keane, Jensen, and Reese up front. So quite a strong midfield, strong front. Rotherham with Victor Johansson at the back. One of only two players actually managing to play to the best of their ability. Peltier, Adolphin, Humphreys, and Revan at the back. Nombe. What? You've got that. You put in Nombe in midfield? I wouldn't have thought so. We'll swap those two round. It's Rathbone, Lindsay, Clucas, and Cafu. And out front, Nombe and Wyke. See what they've got on the bench, shall we? On the bench, they've got Dylan Phillips, Rinamotor oh, crikey. Ferguson, Appiah, Cohen Bramall, Ben Hatton, Tom Eves, and Femi Siriki. Okay. So let's see how long they can last out. QPR Birmingham. This is going to be a good game, this one. This is either going to be a really good game or a really shitty, boring 0-0, isn't it? Begovic in goal for QPR. And then we've got Dunn, Cook, Salter, and Parle at the back. Midfield, Wilcock, Hayden, Anderson, Field, and Chair. And up front, Michael Frey. Birmingham, desperately trying to get some goals here. So they put three up front, apparently. Ruddy at the back. Sanderson, Awu, and Buchanan. We've got midfield of Laird, Sung-Ho, Bellick, and Drema. And then Buchanan, Stansfield, obviously, and Tyler Roberts up front. They're really pushing it to try and get a win, aren't they? Whether they will is another thing. Sheffield Wednesday versus lineups. Sheffield Wednesday versus Swansea. Beadle, Valentin, Iki, Bernard, and Famewu at the back. So, not massive fans of most of them. Midfield, Masaba, Palmer, Volks, and Johnson. I think that's a good midfield. Ugbo and Kadamatri up front. So good front, good midfield, defence, a little bit worried. Swansea, Rushworth with Key, Darling, Wood, and Timon at the back. They can play really well together, those four. Midfield, Ronald, Grimes, Patterson, Fulton, and Plachetta. Plachetta can play really well. Plachetta can play really crap. And Liam Cullen up front. Again, it can be really good and effective. It can be really bad. So, we've got a little bit of a worry there. Southampton Borough. Southampton Bazunu with Bree, Stevens, Bellis, and Peters at the back. Smallbone, Downs, and Armstrong midfield. Armstrong, Adams, and Salamana up front. I don't know whether I don't know. I would expect them to do well, but I think with this side, Borough, Dieng with Ayling, Clark, Engel at the back, Howson, Barlaser, O'Brien in midfield, Jones, Azaz, and Greenwood just behind the front sole of Latte Lath. We're really, 3-3-3-1. Ooh, that's odd. But I think that they're trying to really get that supply up to the front. And I think with Barlaser, it's more like a 3-2-4-1, I should think, with Barlaser. Barlaser is more of a sort of playmaker from midfield. So that's a good combination. That could be interesting for Southampton to try and contend with. Blackburn versus Ipswich. We have nothing from Blackburn versus Ipswich at the minute. I don't have anything from Blackburn Ipswich. That's 5:30 tonight, isn't it? That's why. And then we've got Watford Leeds, which is also tonight at 8 o'clock. So we'll forget those last two. And we are 7 minutes from the kickoff. Managed to do that pretty quick. We have a quick look at Millwall versus West Brom. Millwall with 2 substitutions on 89 minutes. And 2 substitutions on 81 and 76 minutes. Of course, West Brom have equalised on 67 minutes with John Swift. After bringing him on just 4 minutes earlier. So they brought him on 63 minutes and he's scored on 67. That's what it shows you. See, you bring somebody on and that you go from losing to drawing. They had plenty of time to win it. They still might, but at the minute, 94 minutes. West Brom just done a foul, so Millwall have a free kick. Oh, it was a penalty from John Swift. All right, okay, penalty. It's just finished 1-1. So that game's finished 1-1. And we can it's Ben Hatton's first senior position in the Rotherham team on the subs bench. The Rotherham fans will be saying, why don't we just put loads of the kids on? Because at the end of the day, we're getting relegated. Maybe for next year we need to put the kids on and just give them a trial, give them a run out. You never know; we might suddenly find, a really good player out of them. We have done in the past, and they've been extremely good money-making acquisitions. And at the end of the day, teams like Rotherham, yeah, I said it, are we're there for money. We're there to make money. We're there to stay afloat. We don't intend going bankrupt a third time. So we shall set everything up and we shall see where we are, guys, because I think we are almost 4 minutes away. And we shall just wait for the app there to turn my turn everything on. We are now starting to get into. Let's see who is going to be our who's going to be on the radio today. It's not going to be Cardiff Sunderland. It's not Huddersfield Coventry. Oh, Southampton Middlesbrough. No. Wow. I'm just trying to find. So it could be Rotherham, Preston Rotherham, because that's a relegation one. No, it's not that one. Oh, Norwich Plymouth. No. Hull Stoke. Hey, we've got to have one somewhere. We usually grab a live commentary. It don't seem to be QPR Birmingham. Nobody's started. Where do we think the first goal is going to be? I've only got to check another two. Doesn't appear to be QPR. Our last chance would be Sheffield Wednesday. Okay, we don't seem to have got any. So, well, it looks like we've not got any commentary games today. So that's a little bit of a downer. We've been through the teams. What have we got in League One? We've got Derby versus Blackpool. That'll be an interesting game. That's one to watch. What else we got in League One? Barnsley, Cambridge, Peterborough, Carlisle. Peterborough should be winning that one. Wigan, Burton, Wickham versus Portsmouth. Let's have a Wickham versus Port. That's going to be quite a game. As 3 o'clock roughly rings out. I'm going to go. Different. There's some really good games here today. First goal in the Championship. I am going to go. I'm going to go with Norwich. I'm going to be a little bit, different. I think Norwich may have the upper hand. As Sheffield Wednesday are the first team to start playing. So Sheffield Wednesday are now playing. Swansea have the ball in their own half, and Swansea are now kicking off to try and get that first elusive goal. Cardiff's underway. Let's go down them as they start. I think Cardiff are underway against Sunderland, and It's a bit of a ping pong ball at the minute, very much a ping pong ball, going from one side to the other. They don't seem to be settling down very well at Cardiff. Huddersfield versus Coventry. Huddersfield are looking like they're pressing Coventry quite hard. So Huddersfield are in the ascendancy at home to Coventry. Stoke City haven't kicked away at Hull. That's not started yet. Norwich versus Plymouth. My game to watch. If it didn't come up with a Huddersfield game. Norwich versus Plymouth. Apps can be really, really good. But at the minute, that one has stopped. We have nothing yet. Millwall has finished 1-1. Cardiff, don't you dare say we've let one in already. Kick off. Right, thank God for that. I'm thinking we've let one in already, please no. So Cardiff 0, Sunderland 0, Huddersfield 0, Coventry 0, Hull 0, Stoke 0, Norwich 0, Plymouth 0, Preston 0, Rotherham 0. Say that quick while it's still 0-0. QPR 0, Birmingham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 0, and Southampton 0, Middlesbrough 0. I know we're trying to find the first goal. Let's go for the first goal, guys. In League One, I would be expecting it to be something like Derby at home to Blackpool. I would still think about that. There's nothing as yet in League Two, just to keep. What are you doing? League Two. We are still goalless. So, Championship. Nothing yet. League One. And all my apps are playing silly arses. Right. Okay, we've only got Championship on Bet365. It's not letting me into anything else. We have got no goals as yet. Huddersfield versus Coventry. So we were looking at that one. We've actually, it's 60% possession to Huddersfield at the minute. One corner to Huddersfield, one yellow card to Coventry. No shots on goal, but 2 attacks by Huddersfield. Huddersfield are in the ascendancy. Huddersfield are actually playing the better football. So Huddersfield are indeed appearing to be on top. Southampton, with Middlesbrough now on the attack with O'Brien, loses it to Bazunu on the edge of his box. So hopefully he's just trickles it out to Stevens, and they'll Southampton build from the back. So that's that game. Norwich. I was wanting to get to Norwich Plymouth, and everything just collapsed around me. So at the minute, we've had 3 attacks by Norwich, two shots, none on goal, none on target. 1 attack by Plymouth, not on target. One attack by Plymouth, no shots, none on target. Obviously, nearly 70% possession to Norwich City. But that's what Plymouth do. They let you have the ball, and then when they've got the ball, they can be quite deadly when they get the ball. Anywhere else? We'll go to Hull City, Stoke City. We'll battle of the cities here. Hull City, Stoke City, if we can. Hate it when it does that. Hull City, Stoke City. Corner to Stoke City. We've already had a corner within the first minute. 70% possession to Stoke City. 30% to Hull. Apart from that, it's just been a case of passing the ball around in midfield. So Hull City, Stoke City, very much a sort of midfield battle. At the minute, it's with Hull City in their own half. One would expect Hull City, they'd welly it forward. And it goes out for a Stoke City throw near the corner, but they lose it to Regan Slater. And Hull City can start to build from the Stoke City half. So they're doing quite well. Stoke City actually have 70% possession and have had 6 attacks. Hull City have just completed a second attack. But it's strange because Stoke City started well. It looks like Hull City have started to come back into the game. Norwich City are playing keep the ball at home to Plymouth. There's we have a look at my side, Preston versus Rotherham. We look at the stats, and surprisingly enough, it's Preston 51% possession, Rotherham 49%. No shots for either team. It's just moved to 3 dangerous attacks each. And they welly it forward to Preston do, and the Rotherham goalie just gathers the ball. So we're not doing too bad. I'm actually going to put £1 on Rotherham to win. How about that? So, don't know. I always say, if you're going to do something, go do it. The interesting game, I think, is a QPR versus Birmingham game. Because should Birmingham win, then Rotherham are down. Simple as that. If Birmingham win, Rotherham are down. So if they draw, I think we're still in with a chance, I think. I'm quite sure. Not that it matters because we're still going down. We'd still go down the next game anyway. But yeah, I think we're pretty much... in fact, let's just have a quick check of that because I think that might be a very good point. The fact that they're both playing each other. And they're right next to each other. So if if it was a draw, nice talking 5. Yeah, QPR to win would be better for Rotherham. At least then we've got some miraculous hope of Birmingham losing every single one of their last 7 games, which is not going to happen. So, but at the minute, Birmingham have had a really close call there. They nearly scored against QPR. That's what Birmingham are doing. Birmingham, it's actually 46% possession to QPR, 57% possession to QPR, 43 to Birmingham. So at the minute, QPR are on top. We have got a goal. We've got a goal, and it's in the game I thought would come, but it's the opposite direction. We have Norwich 0, Plymouth playing for absolutely nothing now. 1. So we now have Norwich 0, Plymouth 1. So the first goal in the Championship went to Plymouth. I wouldn't have thought that. And we've also got one in League One. Exeter 1. Charlton Athletic 0, which is, I would say, quite a surprise. I wouldn't have thought that. Bloody hell. Oh, I've got to go and see this game. Right, okay, we had 2 goals in one game. Wycombe 1. Portsmouth 1. I actually want to go and see that, so I'm going to go down there because my local side is Plymouth. Bishop scored for Plymouth in 3 minutes, and then Butcher scored for Wycombe in 7. So, and then Plymouth Portsmouth, sorry, nearly had a chance there right as I was going through that. So nearly made it 2-1. So the League One race for promotion is certainly heating up down there. They would certainly have hoped to have kept that. They're not. Portsmouth aren't a prolific scoring team, unfortunately. So you sort of look at that and think, oh, perhaps. And my other local side has now scored. So it's Southampton 1. Middlesbrough 0. I thought that might be 1-1. But if Southampton scored first, so that might be a little bit more difficult. But I'm obviously going to stick with 1-1 because that's what I said. So we've got a goal at Southampton for Southampton. We've got a goal at Norwich for Plymouth. And we've got a goal at Cardiff now for Sunderland. So it's now Cardiff 0. Sunderland 1. So we're now moving on. Let's have a look at the Sheffield Wednesday Swansea game. This is a game that's going to be interesting because if Sheffield Wednesday can actually win this, then I think they've got a damn good chance of staying up. As much as Rotherham fans hate Sheffield Wednesday, we'd rather, if we're going to go down, we'd rather have them not in the same league because we really don't like them. So in a way, we'd rather have Sheffield Wednesday win and stay in the Championship, please. That does, of course, mean we've got 2 damn good teams coming down. Which 2? Could be anyone, couldn't it? Really could be any. You've got Birmingham, Huddersfield, QPR and Sheffield Wednesday, I think, realistically looking at those bottom places. But you've got Birmingham as well. Birmingham are in there. And Stoke City, I think, are out of the relegation hunt, but you never know. So who's doing the most today? Sheffield Wednesday have got an XG of 0.28 at the minute, 4 shots, but none of them on target. And this is what I keep saying: if you shoot, it doesn't matter. Don't put them on target; you're not going to get a goal. Sheffield Wednesday have got almost into the final third 6 times, and then they got into the final third 4 times. So, yeah, when they get into attack, they mostly get into the final third. But Swansea have had 26 attacks and only gone into the final third 8 times. Sheffield Wednesday, 4 shots on target with 22% possession. Sheffield Wednesday, 4 shots with none on target, 22% possession. Swansea, 78% possession, 1 shot on target. So I think very, very difficult to. That is going to be a very, very difficult game to try and work out who's going to win, isn't it? We have a goal in League One. Barnsley, I would have expected Barnsley to be winning that, but it's Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1. So Cambridge are now winning there. Exeter, we said, was winning at home to Charlton. I'll put on as many of the League Ones I can. Wimbledon are losing at home to Harrogate. Barrow are winning at home to Grimsby. Barrow Town versus Rotherham. Jesus. So that's that. Whoa, don't tap the screen too much or I go and enter it. Southampton still winning. Plymouth still winning. Coventry. Oh, we have a goal at Huddersfield. It's now Huddersfield 0, Coventry 1. So at the minute, at this very moment in time, Rotherham are not down yet. We will be quite soon because Birmingham are starting to pull back the possession now that it's now 59% to QPR, 41% to Birmingham. Birmingham are starting to pull back as QPR have a throw-in their own half. On their right-hand side, and QPR will no doubt try and just keep that ball in their own half. Try and play. They've been playing Warnock's way for quite a while now, and they're just passing it along the back. Try and keep the possession while not letting the opposition in is basically what they've been trained to do by Warnock, and to be honest, it works. So we've got Cardiff 0, Sunderland 1. We've got Huddersfield 0, Coventry 1. We've got 0-0 at Hull City. We've got Norwich 0, Plymouth 1. Preston 0, Rotherham 0. And QPR 0, Birmingham 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 0, and Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 0. So we did have one person. We had one person. If you want to stay and just have a chat, or just keep me on the side and just watch the results, you can turn the noise off if you want. In League One, we have Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1, Exeter 1, Charlton 0. And we had a couple of goals down here. Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 1. That's still the case there. I'm really disappointed that we haven't got any audio. It's really annoying, but never mind. We can continue as we are. Hull City versus Stoke City. So, until 0-0. So how are we gonna finish this season? We've got Cardiff 0, Sunderland 1. Cardiff. I would have said Cardiff were my obvious choice for that one, and Sunderland really haven't been playing that well. They haven't been. I wasn't over enamored by their attacking formula, but apparently it's worked, and they are 1-0 up. They're good for them. Cardiff, though, they're not really. They would have had to have won this to keep their promotion hopes alive, and it might have. Had they won, if they do win today, that's probably the crux of it. If they lose, I don't think they've got a chance of catching Norwich. But with Norwich losing, there's no reason why the teams underneath can't be thinking, shit, we could have won today and actually made something of it. But I think we're getting too close to the end of the season now to really start turning those defeats like that to a Sunderland side that's not playing very well would be totally disastrous at this point. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 1. I would have expected that. That's as I thought it would be. And then you got Hull City versus Stoke City. Oh, that was a good try by Hull City. Oh, and he loses it. the goalie had it and he lost it. And he just like Hull City had a shot and then he like parried it out. Coyle is now outside the box trying to thread it back in. But Hull City are on the attack. And at the minute, it's looking like Hull City are starting to gain that momentum. 2 shots, none on target to Hull. 3 shots for Stoke, none on target. So neither side's actually had a shot on target yet. And we just had another goal at Huddersfield. Another goal at Huddersfield. It's now Huddersfield 0. Put a space in there. Coventry 2. So the first side to have 2 goals is Coventry. Coventry have now scored again. Let's see who the scorers are down there. Coventry, Ellie Sims scored the first one. We don't seem to have got a scorer yet for the second. We can wait and see if we get the scorer. Oh, blimey. Oh, Coventry, they're in the attack again. Oh, it's Ellis Sims again. So Ellis Sims on 16 and Ellis Sims on 22. And Coventry are back in the attack. And actually, it looks like Coventry may be going out for an all-out walkover here. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an extremely strong win by Coventry. Nothing else happened in the Championship. Still Plymouth 1-0 up away at Norwich City. Sheffield Wednesday holding on against Swansea 0-0. But it looks more like Sheffield Wednesday are trying to play they're making the most of a very little possession. I had about 20% possession, or no, 30% possession that Sheffield Wednesday had, but they've got more shots on goal. So it's very interesting down there. Sheffield Wednesday, they're certainly making the most of the little possession they're getting. So when they get it, they're getting it forward. Let's look at League 2. It's still Wimbledon 0, Harrogate 1. Barrow now 2-0 up at home to Grimsby. Forest Green 0, Stockport 1. Swindon 1, Notts County 0. I always like to look in League 1 at Fleetwood. There we are. Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 0. Fleetwood are one of the sides that they played really well. They did well a couple of years ago, and then they suddenly started to play really lower than what they should do. They've got a good set of players there, and they should be able to score goals, but they just don't seem to be able to put the ball in the frigging net. Or if they do, they let one in, usually a penalty. So I feel sorry for the fans because they've got all that they need. In fact, one of the players that Rotherham tried getting into the Championship decided to go to Fleetwood instead of come to Rotherham because, hey, they're going down. Rotherham are going down. We'll go and play for Fleetwood. So they get some good players. You know, they are Championship players, one or two of them. And for them to be down near the bottom, almost relegated, is unfortunate. And there we are. Rotherham have gone behind. It's Preston 1, my beloved Rotherham 0. So we're halfway to being relegated. We just the only way we get relegated now on these present scores is if Birmingham scored. So if Birmingham scores, we're down. So we'll soon hear the little beep. We'll soon hear the little beep. And it's Preston 1, Rotherham 0. Preston are now attacking. Preston throw in. 24 minutes, and it's Preston 1, Rotherham 0. So we've got Coventry still 2-0 up away at Huddersfield. We've got Cardiff 0, Sunderland 1. In fact, the only games with 0-0 are now Hull City, Stoke City, QPR, Birmingham, and Sheffield Wednesday versus Swansea. Let's have a look at Sheffield Wednesday Swansea game. Let's have a look at that. Sheffield Wednesday Swansea. Got to look at the stats to see how things are moving. You see that Sheffield Wednesday with now 26% possession, 4 shots still, so they've not added any more shots. 4 shots, 0 on target. Swansea, 2 shots, both on target. So, but they weren't very good shot. Their XG for Swansea is still 0.01. So they were classed XG wise as being not very good opportunities. But they were both on target, and if you don't get them on target, you're not going to get a goal. So although Sheffield Wednesday only have 26% of possession, they are actually making more of their chances and creating more chances. It's just that they don't seem to be able to actually get them on target. That could end up with it being a 0-0, because if they're both trying to, Wednesday can't get it on target, they're not going to get any goal, because if they don't get it, you've got to get it on target to get in the bloody net. But on the other hand, Swansea, they had 2 shots both on goal, but they're not really very good chances, so which shows up in the XG as being 0.01. Let me go back to the actual game itself. I mean, at the minute we've got Swansea attacking down the left-hand side with Josh Timon, and he's how the hell he's managed to get that out. It's gone out for a Wednesday throw. They throw it in. Diaby has another shot, and first shot on goal for Sheffield Wednesday, on target this time by Diaby. He gets saved. But it was at least a shot on target. If they can carry on and keep putting more balls in and get balls on target, then at the minute, I would probably be more looking towards a Sheffield Wednesday win there. And we had another goal. We had another goal at Cardiff. So we've got a goal at Cardiff. It's now Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, and that has definitely gone completely the opposite way to what I expected. I didn't expect that one. Who saw that one coming? Sunderland, who can't score and can't get a win for love nor money, are now 2-0 up away at Cardiff, who, if they'd have actually won this game with Norwich City behind at home to Plymouth, they could have been catching up on that 6th slot. And it wouldn't have been out of question for them to gain those 6-7 points to get up there, because we are close to the end of the season, but at 3 points per game, yeah, quite easy. Sunderland's still in the attack. They're really hammering down on Cardiff. Let's see if we've had any changes to the lineup, because this doesn't bode well for Cardiff. No changes to the lineup. Stats. It's rough. The goals are roughly to stats. The XG is 0.02 for Cardiff, 2.06 for Sunderland, and of course it's 2-0 to Sunderland. 9 shots, 5 on target to Sunderland. Like I say, if you don't shoot on target, you ain't going to score. They haven't been shooting on target. They've not been scoring. But now they seem to be well away with it. And at the minute, they've reduced Cardiff to one shot, and not even that wasn't on target. But get this, possession, 61% to Cardiff. They've got the ball the majority, 2/3 of the time, but they're just not doing anything with it. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. It's one of those games that an away supporter loves. Don't you just love it when you go away and your team has next to no possession, and you come away with a point or all three. Being a Rotherham fan, I'm not used to that because we haven't won away for 2 years, and we're not going to win away today. But we've got Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2. Now, Coventry were showing that they were out to get the get a record number of goals. They were really pressurising the Huddersfield back line almost constantly at first. It looks like Huddersfield is starting to regain a little bit more composure in midfield. Alex Matos there just taking the ball off the Coventry attack right in the centre circle. And if we look at the stats, yeah, they've evened out the possession. It's now 44% to Huddersfield, 56% to Coventry. And indeed, Huddersfield have actually had more shots, although only one's been on target. Coventry, on the other hand, 4 shots, 4 on target, 2 goals. So they had 4 shots on target and they've converted 2 of them. It's a pretty good conversion rate. When Rotherham came up from League One, I think we had a conversion rate of 25%. Our conversion rate of 50% is pretty good. So we'll see what happens with that game. They're on 32 minutes. I can see that. I would expect reasonably to get something in the. I'd reasonably expect them to get 3 or 4. At the minute, Huddersfield don't look too threatening, but they are coming back into the game. Will they get a goal or 2? Could they turn it round? Hell, we know Huddersfield can turn it round. They've done it in the past. They've been 2-0 down and drawn 2-2. I know they have this season, so don't put anything past the Huddersfield side that's been taught at the beginning of the season by Mighty Warnock. So still Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 0. I'm surprised at that because Sheffield Wednesday are coming back into it. QPR 0, Birmingham 0. I'm surprised at this one. So at first, when I looked at this from a prediction in my prediction video, I was thinking this could be a boring 0-0. This really could be a case of a bad QPR side against a bad Birmingham side, where you just don't get any goals at all. But at first, the QPR side, for the first 10 minutes, the QPR side were certainly on the up, and they were playing the better football, and they were pressing into the Birmingham half quite often. So if we just wait a second while that loads, and we'll see what's happening at the minute, because I just can't see Birmingham beating QPR at home. They're really strong at home now, and they have actually got a damn good midfield, and they've loaded that midfield with strength and quality, and I just don't see the Birmingham side being able to get past that midfield too often, because that's waiting on that one. We shall go switch to this one. So at the minute, it's QPR 59% of possession, 7 shots, 2 on target. Birmingham 4 shots, 0 on target still. You see, Birmingham are just not getting it on target. Don't get it on target, not going to score. They have actually had 3 blocks. So, so they've actually had 3 blocked, 1 way off target. So they're not that bad when you think that 3 possible on-target shots were blocked on the way there. So, I don't know. Looking at this, I would be QPR 212 critical passes, 156 to Birmingham. QPR are certainly doing a Warnock-style pass along the back. So, I just can't see QPR. I can't see Birmingham getting anything at the minute. At the minute, the way it's going, it looks more like with 2 easy chances for QPR apparently, but they missed both of them. So the 2 shots on target were actually clear-cut chances, apparently, which is proven in their a better XG. So they are more likely to be turning that one round. So my phone's decided to die. Well, my app. Here we go. QPR are actually even money to win. It's roughly 2-1 against a draw, and it's 3 1/3 to 1 against Birmingham. So they're actually putting their money on QPR. Most of the money's going on QPR. Stats. The XG for QPR is 0.79. XG for Birmingham is 0.09. 7 shots, 2 on target for using the data here for QPR. 4 shots, none on target for Birmingham. So it does look like Birmingham are the least likely to win that one. I say it that way because I still think that could end up as a 0-0. However, let's see, because hang on, we got another goal. Yep, we have another goal. Rotherham are going to get slaughtered. It's Preston 2, Rotherham 0. Don't put 2 M's in it. So Rotherham are well and truly on the way out. Not won a game away for 2 years. Maybe in League One we can win a game away from home. Probably, but let's have a look. League Two, it's that side in League Two, isn't it? So when we it probably be Barrow Town versus Rotherham, and I bet Barrow Town even win because Barrow Town are now are still 2-0 up against Grimsby. Wimbledon are losing still 1-0 at home to Harrogate. Forest Green 0, Stockport 2. Milton Keynes are winning 1-0 at home to Walsall. Swindon are winning 1-0 at home to Notts County. Wrexham are winning 1-0 at home to Mansfield. So plenty of goals in League Two. We've got a goal in League One. This is an interesting one, this one. We have Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. And Portsmouth are riding high. We also have a goal at the top. It's not that one. I was going to write the wrong one. Peterborough. I'll lose it. And the bottom side, I've now scored to make it Carlisle 1-0 up away at Peterborough. And John Mellish has scored for them. Interesting enough, good side there. They've actually got Georgie Kelly on the bench. They really ought to put Georgie Kelly in the team. He's a damn good player. I think he scored about 30 goals in the Irish League a couple of years ago before Rotherham bought him, and he scored 2 for Rotherham. But he's a damn good goal. Yeah, if they put him on, I can see their strike force down there, or up there at Carlisle, could be quite a decent challenge for whichever division. They're probably going to be in League Two, so it'll be a very good challenge for League Two. Certainly, Georgie Kelly would be able to cut the turf and score a few goals in League Two. So let's have a quick review. And we go into the last 4 or 5 minutes. The first half, we've got Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. Yeah, and we've got Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2. I'm sure that's up there. Yep. Hull 0, Stoke 0. Norwich 0, Plymouth 1, Preston 2, Rotherham 0, QPR still 0-0 with Birmingham. Will this be a boring 0-0? And we do have a goal at Sheffield. Sheffield Wednesday 1. Swansea 0. What did I say? The team with a measly 20% possession has scored. They were putting their shots on goal. They were getting shots in, and they were getting shots in with a 20% possession. Their possession has increased. Oh, Jesus Christ, Rotherham are really in the shit. Oh dear. Preston 3. Rotherham 0. Will it be a 6-0? Will it be a 6-0 embargo? I hope not, but it does look like it. I put a £1 bet on that. Can I have my £1 back? Ah, dear Lord. We'll go into League One. Oh, we've got a goal in League One. It's due. Derby has scored. Derby 1, Blackpool 0. I actually thought that they might score a bit earlier than that, but yeah, Blackpool. Oh, that's good. Blackpool 0. I'll leave it like that. Exeter is still 1-0 up against Charlton. Fleetwood 0. Cheltenham 1. So that's another goal. Cheltenham now beating Fleetwood. Carlisle are still beating Peterborough. Lincoln 0, Leyton Orient 0. Port Vale 1. Bristol Rovers 0. Reading 0, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 0, Oxford 0, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0, Wigan 0, Burton 0, and still Wycombe 0. Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. The odds have just gone off at Accrington versus Morecambe. So that might be something happening soon there. Let's have a look at my side. I try and keep away from Rotherham because it's just fighting a losing battle. My phone won't even let me in. No, you don't want to see it. No, go away. Not surprised. But we're not doing too badly here. We've got a few goals in the Championship. Cardiff are going to look like blowing their last chance to get into that top 6. They really could have done it. And with the scores at the minute, they've just blown their one really, really good chance of getting or staying within a good number of points of Norwich City as they lose at home to Plymouth. Coventry, however, doing their damnedest to slaughter Huddersfield, have started well but then pulled back and not doing so well now. I say that because the odds have just disappeared. 3 minutes extra time there. So 2 minutes extra time. Rudoni's on the attack for Huddersfield. Oh, Huddersfield throwing right next to the box. I see how this goes as we've got a couple of minutes left there. What can they do? Can Huddersfield pull one back? Huddersfield, they're left, throwing it into the box. No, they haven't. They've pushed it down to Rodoni, who lost it, and Palmer wellies it. Bolker pushes it back in, but Eccles grabs that one and heads it forward to Haji Wright. Haji Wright over the halfway, runs over the halfway line, passes it to Jake Bidwell. Bidwell pushes it forward, but the Huddersfield goalie grabs that one nice and easily. So at the minute, everything seems to have calmed down a little bit at Huddersfield. Hull City, Stoke. Shall we have a quick look at Hull City and Stoke? Well, shall we go to Borough? We'll go Borough. Borough, Southampton. I mean, it's Southampton 1, Borough 0. It is half time. It is half time there. So have a quick look. It's 67% possession to Southampton, 33% to Borough. Southampton have had 5 shots, 1 on target, and scored from it. Borough have had 2 shots, 0 on target. Pretty dire. They both had 3 corners, which to me is a little bit odd because you need to be getting at least a shot in from a corner. You really do need to be getting at least 1 shot in from a corner. If you can't get 1 shot in, then from 3, they should have had at least a shot each from those corners. And if those 2 shots came from corners, then what were you doing from open play? Nothing. So there's something wrong, whichever way you look at it. Middlesbrough just not. They're not. They must not be playing high enough up the pitch. You have to pressure. You have to do a high press against Southampton. That confuses the hell out of them. Can they get back? Yeah, they can. Rotherham got back to draw 1-1 at Southampton. We let one in after 2 minutes. Started doing high press in the second half, and Southampton just stopped playing. So what are the other interesting results here do we have? I think there's only Rotherham playing at the minute. So we'll go down the halftime results. There's 2 games playing, so we'll go down the others. Right, so halftime at Huddersfield. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2, Hull City 0, Stoke City 0, Norwich 0, Plymouth 1, QPR 0, Birmingham 0. Sheffield Wednesday's now finished. Sheffield Wednesday 1. Half-time, finished for half-time. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 0. Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 0. We're on 50 minutes nearly at Cardiff. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. And 48 minutes at Preston, with Preston 3, Rotherham 0. I'm going to go get coffee when we finally get through this. These 2 games, 50 minutes now being played at. That's it. It's half time at Cardiff. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. I'm surprised at the Huddersfield 0 Coventry 2. Coventry came out of that out the start gate like an animal, and they were absolutely relentless. And then Huddersfield seemed to have just changed tack, changed formation, and boom, now we're even Stevens. Is it too late? No, we know what Huddersfield are like. Forget that being too late. It is too late for Rotherham. Preston 3, Rotherham 0. 49 minutes. As usual, the refs playing on until they get another goal. I wouldn't put it past them either. Happens more often than you think. 49, 50 minutes now played at Rotherham. We're going to get I'm going to have to go in to actually see it finish. We're still playing, waiting for the half-time whistle at Rotherham. Well, at Preston. Give me the clock. Give me the clock. Give me 45. Come on. It must be half-time. 3 goals. That's only what? That's only a minute and a half extra time, isn't it? Yeah, and it's half-time. Preston 3, Rotherham 0. I'm going to go for a coffee. My one and only viewers just disappeared. I'm going to go for a coffee. I'll see you again in the second half. I want to see if Rotherham go down live on air. We shall be reporting the first relegated side, and it will be Rotherham United. I'll see you later. I'll go and cry into my coffee. Not down block, but any commentary. Yeah. What is right? Oh, I love that. Well, one good thing, at least I get my coffee. And we did have someone listening. If you are still listening, if you want to put your name down and who you support, I'll by all means I'll keep nipping across and looking at your team. I have no problem in doing that. No problem whatsoever. I try and stay away from Rotherham because we're just crap. Sorry. I originate from Rotherham, so I'm I'm very honest, and we are just crap. So there's no point. There's no point. You can't embellish it, can you? If your team's absolutely garbage, they're garbage. You don't really have anything else you can say, can you? So what do we have? Let's have a look in League One. I've not actually looked in League One for the since half time, so we'll have a quick look through the half times in League One. Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1. Derby 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 1, Charlton 0, Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 1, Lincoln 0, Leyton Orient 0, Peterborough 0, Carlisle 1, Port Vale 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Reading Northampton, Shrewsbury Oxford, Stevenage Bolton all 0-0. Oh, did we? We didn't have that one. That one's different. So we'll put that one on. That's a Wigan 1, Burton 0. That's a different one. Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. We're going to go into that one. Colby Bishop for Portsmouth on 3 minutes and 28 minutes. So with Matt Butcher scoring on 7 to even it up to 1-1. So 2-1 to Portsmouth. It does look like Portsmouth will be going up. How close are they to actually securing it? At the minute, from I don't think how many people there are in this one. It is still 3, isn't it? 6, 7th place is 63 points. So 7th place 63 points with 6 games, 18. So they can't finish outside the top 6. But there's only 6 to 18 points left. You'd have to be on 64 to be able to catch you up, which is Oxford in 6th. So at the minute, the only team that can catch them up is Oxford in 6th. So Portsmouth at the minute are now guaranteed a top 6 position. There's 18 points left. And they are 11 points ahead of 3rd place Bolton. So if Portsmouth won their next game and Bolton lost, those 11 would stretch to 13. And there would be 15 left. So they still can't secure it even next time. So 2 games to 2 games. So probably they're going to take that into the last 2 or 3 games before they finally get their guaranteed promotion, I think. But Bolton are at the minute drawing, so they could lose a point. You believe that? I'm sure they're drawing. Aren't they drawing 0-0? Yeah, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0. Down at the bottom, we have Carlisle 27, Fleetwood 34. Crikey. They could actually get out of it. Cheltenham 38, Port Vale 39, Burton 39. So and they're all trying to get to that 39 points. Fleetwood are actually losing, but they're 5 points adrift. If they could even get a point, they'd probably be quite happy with that and trying to just catch up steadily on the other. What are Burton, Port Vale, and Cheltenham doing? Oh, I hate it when it doesn't. Cheltenham are winning, which is not too much of a bomb. Burton, Port Vale. Burton and Port Vale. Port Vale are winning as well, aren't they? Yeah, Port Vale are winning against Bristol Rovers. Because they're not going anywhere, Bristol Rovers, that's probably why. Burton are losing to Wigan. So 2 teams above Fleetwood are actually winning. So they're going to be pretty annoyed, but I think they're the bottom at the bottom there. You're probably 39 there. So Carlisle are now 12 points from safety with 18 points left. So they're not out of it, but they pretty much are. 12 points from safety with 6 games left is nigh on impossible. So that's League One. Championship. Saw the Bristol City game this morning. That was impressive game by Bristol City. I think they high pressed at the beginning. They kept Leicester City at bay. Then Leicester City came out totally revitalised in the second half. And for the first 20 minutes, they were certainly on top in the second half for the first 20 minutes. And then Bristol made a couple of about 2 changes. Then they made a third change. And it just totally changed the course of the game. They just suddenly started to retake hold of the game, press higher up the pitch again. And they deserved their win. They didn't get it from high. They didn't get their goal from high press. They got their goal from a break, and actually the break worked very well for them. Two passes, and it was in the. It was with the scorer to put in the back of the net. We have started the second half. So let's have a look. Just make sure that we've not lost anything. Cardiff still not started yet. They're still 2-0 down. Huddersfield have not started yet. Hull. We have started at Sheffield Wednesday, which is still 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. And we started at Southampton, which is still 1-0 to Southampton. Let's have a look at the Southampton game. I know there's a couple of people that follow me from Middlesbrough. Southampton had a good chance there, but it was wellied out. But it got lost straight back by Smallbone, and then Smallbone into the box. But Middlesbrough have wellied it from outside, from in the box, throw in. To be honest, it's a bit ping pong ball in the Middlesbrough half at the minute. Southampton throw in again. They don't seem to be able to keep the ball, Southampton, at this very moment in time. They're not keeping it. They're actually losing it and then gaining it back and losing it and gaining it back. And it's a little bit awkward. Smallbone has took that throw-in or got the ball from the throw-in. It passes back to midfield with Bree. Downs, Bellis, Stevens. It's going backwards. The triangles are going backwards. Come on. Hosen grabs it, but well is it for Bazunu. Bazunu, who's in the middle of the Southampton half, well out of his box. Pass back to him in the middle of the area, rather than nowhere near his box. Clark, back to Dieng, and Middlesbrough will try and build from the back. But at the minute, it's all Southampton. Does look like being all Southampton. So the other game that was on is Sheffield Wednesday, with Swansea attacking now. Harry Darling trying to get that goal back. Matt Grimes to Timon. Low crosses it to Cullen. Cullen just outside the ball. How Fulton has a shot, but it's off target and ricochets away. Kicked out, boof, to the other half. Swansea kick it forward to Wednesday, then kick it back. And Swansea get it back with Wood Gordon back to Timon, and they can build from halfway. Headed to Low. Tries to pass it through, but James Beadle grabs it in defence, and Wednesday can build from the back. Wednesday are managing to keep a tight grasp on that one. As we'll go to QPR, they've now started. Birmingham are attacking with Bakunu, Laird, Roberts. Loses it to Powell. Powell will now try and build from the left-hand side for QPR. Kenneth Powell gives it to Elias Chair, who runs it forward. Hayden, Powell, Salter pushes it forward, but Bellick grabs it for Birmingham. Bellick, Bazunu, Laird. Can Birmingham relegate Rotherham? Alwu. All it needs is Birmingham to keep this ball and put it in the back of the net. Iwu or Alwu? Iwu. Oh, shot by Bakuna, and it gets belted out for a Birmingham throw-in. This could be dangerous by Birmingham. Birmingham throwing it in. Will they throw it long or will they throw it short? Who's going to have a guess? Long or short? What do we think, guys? Birmingham long or Birmingham short? It's God. It was a short one, but they managed to get offside from it. Buchanan from in defence for Birmingham. Oh, he loses it, but QPR were offside from that, which is more luck than judgment, I think. And now we have Norwich City are now playing. Norwich City 0, Plymouth 1. Hull City are playing. Hull City 0, Stoke 0. Huddersfield are playing. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2. And Coventry are playing Cardiff are playing Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. Oh, what's happened at Huddersfield? No, nothing. So, and even the Rotherham game started. Let's see how many goals we can see at the Rotherham game. I go down into League One. Anything changed in League One? Look at that. Who would have believed? I don't believe what's going on at Peterborough. It's Carlisle 2. I have a little bit of an interest in Carlisle because Carlisle have actually Mellish again. So Mellish have now got Mellish has now got 2 goals, one on 33, one on 49. They brought on Jay Gibson. So on 23. So I don't think that's probably more of an injury than anything else. I should think at that time. You wouldn't usually do a, a tactical change at that point of the game. So we're still the same there, still the same there, and there. At the minute, we're still the same there. Wigan 1, Burton 0. I can't remember. We added that last minute, didn't we? Morecambe have just scored away at Accrington. Colchester 0, Newport 1. Forest Green 0, Stockport 3. Anything different there? Salford 0, Sutton 1. No red cards. I said that. Rotherham will probably get a red card now that I said it. You know, watch this. I said no red cards. And it's 11 minutes past 4. Almost guarantee in the next couple of minutes, Rotherham will get a red card. Just because I've said so. Cardiff 0. Sunderland 2. Which one shall we go into? Usually by this point, I offer the you viewers a little bit of a go at who we look at. We'll go Sheffield Wednesday. Swansea have a shot off target by Patterson. Jamie Patterson there. Didn't particularly go anywhere. Could have probably shot off target. It's not telling me where it's gone. Where has the ball gone? The stats actually are quite interesting because Sheffield Wednesday are 1.06 xg, Swansea 0.09. Yes, Sheffield Wednesday have had 8 shots, 2 on target, and Swansea have had 6 shots, 3 on target. Now that means the last 4 shots of Wednesday were 4 shots, 2 on target, because the first 4 were off target. And it's been the opposite for Swansea. Swansea have only had 1 more extra on target. So, it's swung round, even though Sheffield Wednesday is still on only 26% possession. So it looks very much like, with not much possession, Sheffield Wednesday are going to be taking that one. I will look at my side. Why not? As Preston attack through Dwayne Holmes on their right-hand side. Can they cross it behind a measly 3 crap players of Rotherham? He's actually finding it rather tough to get a crossing. Good for Rotherham. I mean, possession 59%, Preston 41 to Rotherham. 2 corners for Preston, 1 for Rotherham. Well, Rotherham had 1 shot and it was on target, so that's good. At least it was on target. 9 shots to Preston, 4 on target. This is a pretty mean set of shots, isn't it? I mean, they're doing a lot better than they did last time. A bigger percentage on target, and I did say in the preliminary chat, it all depends on how many they get on target. But they're not being that good at getting goals, getting shots on target. I did actually say 3-0 as a final score. Remember now, I said 3-0, and I said about 9 or 10 shots on target. They've had 9, 4 on target, so they're a little bit behind on goals on target. But I think we're going to see. Yeah, I think I'm not going to be far off. I don't think I'll be far off. I think 3-0. We're not looking too good, but I think we'll be. I don't think it'll be 6-0. I hope. We're on 51 minutes, so hopefully not. We go back to Birmingham. Birmingham's obviously the one. Isaac Hayden's got an injury for QPR. No point in looking at that one. They're still down injured. Hull City, Stoke City, Battle of the Cities still 0-0. QPR, Birmingham 0-0. All the others have goals. Barnsley still losing at home to Cambridge United. Derby are winning at home to Blackpool. Exeter are winning at home to Charlton. I'm going to have a look at the Fleetwood game. Let's have a look at the Fleetwood game. Oh, he loses it. Fleetwood lose it in their own half. George Lloyd, who loses it to Pett, who loses it to Ferry. This is a typical League One game, isn't it? Ferry for Cheltenham, right on the edge of the box. Hennigan grabs it for Fleetwood. And they build from the back. Looks a little bit like ping pong ball down there. Don't like ping pong football. We're going to go through the entire 3 leagues. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2. Both of those games are pretty much as it says. Huddersfield did come back into it, but appeared just to have took the foot off the gas in the second half. Hull City 0, Stoke 0. Hull City were slightly more assertive in the opposition's box. Norwich 0, Plymouth 1. Preston, that could go either way, really. Preston 3, Rotherham 0. That's only going one way. QPR 0, Birmingham 0. The only team I see winning this is QPR. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 0. That could be a draw. I mean, Swansea could score. Let's face it. They've got 70-odd% of possession. It would only take one shot on goal, and they could get that back. However, Wednesday are very good at going ahead and keeping ahead, or at least not losing it. Especially at home, you wouldn't put your money. You wouldn't put your money against Sheffield Wednesday winning that. You certainly wouldn't put your money on Swansea, although I don't think it's impossible. Southampton still 1-0 up at home to Middlesbrough. I'm just looking at Wednesday's score. What's happened at Wednesday? Let's have a look. Oh, nothing, I don't think. Sheffield Wednesday had another chance there, so that wasn't, you see, again, another Wednesday chance. Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1, Derby 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 1, Charlton 0, Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 1, Lincoln Leyton Orient 0-0. Oh, for heaven's sake, there's only one game with bloody goals in it. Are you going? There we are. Carlisle 3-0 up away at Carlisle. If they're going to go down, they're going to go down fighting. Peterborough have just scored a goal. It's now Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3. And it's a hat-trick from Ellis. Hat-trick on 59 minutes. And go away. Don't go to where we are. And on 60 minutes, Peterborough get their goal back. Peterborough 1. I've got to put that on now, haven't I? Three. That's that one. Wow, that's the game to be at. That's the game to be at. Also, Portville 2, Bristol Rovers. Nope. We've got Port Vale have doubled their lead. Shrewsbury at 0. Oxford 1. Oh, blimey, there's goals going in League One. This is Wigan 1, Burton 1, and Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. So the League One has been getting a few goals. I'll quickly go through League Two. Accrington 0, Morecambe 2. Harrogate still 1-0 up away at Wimbledon. Barrow still 2-0 up at home to Grimsby. Bradford 0-0 with Tranmere. Colchester 0, Newport 1 still. Crawley now 0, Doncaster 1. Forest Green 0, Stockport 3. Gillingham 0, Crewe 0. Milton Keynes now 3-0 up at home to Walsall. And it's now Salford City 1, Sutton 1. Swindon 1, Notts County 0. Wrexham still 1-0 up at home to Mansfield. So a few goals going in League Two. So that's the state of play at the minute. All competitions on it. I just want to have a quick look. I'm interested in the Rotherham seem to be sending a couple of players to Carlisle. They've sold one of our really good, talented Irish defenders, and my bloody system. If you get tube Wi-Fi, don't. It's rubbish. That's interesting. Oh, Randall, yes, so Randall scored for them. I wanted to know if they've actually made any substitutions. No. Oh yeah, just Gibson. Georgie Kelly. They've got to bring Georgie Kelly. He's actually a number 9 as well. They've given him the number 9 shirt, and then he's not playing. Why would you give somebody the number 9 shirt and not play him? Like, why? I just don't understand why they do that. It's like, oh, let's get a really good player, a talented player, and then we'll just not bother. We'll not bother playing him because it doesn't make sense to me. Let's have a look at the game, see whether we've got anything in the championship. It's gone quiet. I hate it when it's quiet. It's horrible. The only teams, it's only League One and League Two that seem to be scoring at the minute. It's really annoying. And I know what's going to happen. It's going to be, I'm going to say that, and then Rotherham are going to let another 2 or 3 in. But at the minute, we have Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. It's been like that for ages. Let's face it, Sunderland, against all odds, have managed to turn that into a win. It looks like they've turned it into a win. 63 minutes. Cardiff just, and with Plymouth winning away at Norwich, that was an opportunity, a golden opportunity for Cardiff to cut that the distance between them and 6th place to a really easily to get number of points. But if they lose and Norwich lose, we're starting to get too close to the end of the season to realistically think that they can now catch those points up. 3 points catching 3 points up today for Cardiff would have been absolutely phenomenal. And it was at home to a side that hadn't won for 6 games. For God's sake, Sunderland, they look like winning it. Don't know how, really don't. Absolutely phenomenal. Who do you support, Finley? And don't say Preston, please. So it looks like Cardiff are going to lose, and I really, really did think that they would have the bit between their teeth. Jesus wept. We've had 2 goals. While I've been saying that, we've actually had 2 goals in the QPR game. It's actually now QPR 1, Birmingham 1. Now, this is in. Let's have a quick look at that, because Stansfield has another shot, and that's so Buchanan for Birmingham actually scored on 62 minutes. That put Rotherham relegated. So Rotherham were relegated for all of 3 minutes before QPR scored an equaliser. And now QPR are back on the attack with Sam Field. They're in the box. They had a shot, but Steve Cook just pulls it wide. Off target. Come on, update me as to where the ball is. Oh, it got wellied out. Strobe, geez, got wellied out to the other side. And then Laird has a shot for Birmingham right at the other end, seconds later. So QPR now have a goal kick. It's end-to-end stuff up there. It really is. So for a second there, guys, we were actually relegated. And I'm typing in another goal. It's Norwich City 1, Plymouth 1. We're starting to see the goals. We're starting to see goals, guys. Come on. We love goals. Now look at the odds. QPR are now 9-4, 9-4 for a win. Just outside that, we have 72 for Birmingham. And it's roughly evens for a draw, as we've got a goal in our goalless game. It's now Hull City 0. Stoke 1. So Stoke dragged themselves out by hook or by crook. They've dragged themselves out of that relegation zone. They're nowhere near the relegation fight now. Let's just face it. They're out of it. Wow. And losing my voice. I want to go to League One. If there's anything surprising in League One, we saw the Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3. I was trying to keep up with it at one point. That was just a ridiculous game. Bottom of the league, and they were 3-0 up at one point. And it's like, okay. Wigan 1, Burton 1. We saw that. Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 2. Tend not to score more than 2. So that, it'll be interesting to see what the game ends with, because Portsmouth tend, if they score 2, then they usually don't increase to 3. So here we are. Norwich City are now 1-1 at home to Plymouth. Cardiff are still 0-2 to Sunderland. And I say that because I'm going to have a quick look now at the table. So we have Leeds on top with 82 points. Leicester second with 82 points. Third, we have Ipswich with 81 points. Ouch. And they play tonight. And then we have Southampton fourth with 76 points. So that's a pretty big gap there. I think when you start getting to this point of the season, you're really not going to get too far ahead. You're not going to catch too many points up on the team above you, even though they have actually got a game in hand. West Brom are fifth with 67, and like I said, Norwich sixth, drawing now with 62. but Coventry are on 60. Preston are now on 59. Hull 58. Middlesbrough 54. That's probably the limit. Borough have probably blown it. Borough have probably blown it. They really did need to be winning today. 1-0 down. Middlesbrough look like they're probably too far away. 39 games, 54 points. Norwich, 39 games, 62 points. Yeah. Can they get 8 points in 7 games? It's just, I think that's just beyond the capabilities of a top third team. Most top third teams will find that difficult. It's usually about 1 point a game. If you stick to 1 point a game, it's probably doable. But I don't see that. No, not in this league. I can't see them catching that. So at the bottom, we have Rotherham on 20 points. We have Sheffield Wednesday in 21st, out of the relegation fight, with 41 points. They're now 21 points ahead of Rotherham, with 21 points left. But Sheffield Wednesday have minus 30 and Rotherham have minus 50. So we're sort of technically down, really, because the goal difference is so bloody huge. We ain't going to get back from that. But guys, we live to fight another day. Not literally, but we will come back. We'll come back at some point. Sheffield Wednesday then out of the bottom 3. QPR again out of the bottom 3. Plymouth, they're not drawing, but they're well out of the bottom 3. Well, they're 2 points away, but I think that they've got enough momentum to stay away from it, especially if they can score a leading goal against Norwich away from home. Why not? Why not? I think they've got that chance of. We've got a goal at Sheffield. Sheffield are no longer 21 points ahead. Let's put the right number of Fs in it. So it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 1. Middlesbrough still fighting. They're still trying to get that bloody goal back. They're going to have to press more. They're stuck in their own half. They're not doing anything to prove they can get anywhere near the Southampton goal, let alone score. QPR are just ridiculous. Norwich have now took the lead against Plymouth. That does bode a little bit badly for Plymouth. That does take them. Let's see where that takes them. -8 to -9. Fortunately, they have a really good goal difference. So they're equal 23. Yeah, there we are. Oh, has it just changed? They're equal with Blackburn. Where the hell's Sheffield Wednesday? Oh yeah, that's because Sheffield Wednesday lost. Jesus. I was wondering if it's taken into account the Plymouth game. The bottom is changing so bloody quick. It's getting quite interesting. Even if my team's going down, it's actually really interesting. The bottom is just ridiculous. Let's just recap a little sec. So Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2. Cardiff are, I think, well out of it. They're not going to get that back. Don't look like pulling 2 goals back, even though there is still a fair amount of time left. Huddersfield 0, Coventry 2, same scoreline, but at least here we've got a chance that Huddersfield could pull 1 or 2 back. Huddersfield Coventry were miles the better team at first, and then Huddersfield seemed to just change and change gear, and they've stopped the progression of Coventry, who I thought were going to go on to win sort of 5-6-0. But the chances of them getting a draw still in there. They could still do it. They are actually playing pretty good football against a side that is predominantly just more skillful than them, even though they paid a lot less wages. So Coventry are doing really well there with what they've got. Hull City 0, Stoke 1. Because of where Hull are, I would have thought they would have been really, really up for that game. Stoke City down at the bottom, they could have just kept Stoke in trouble. And then instead of being on 58, they'd have been on 61 points in 7th position. They've been in 7th position for quite a while. But a home game against a lower third team, you need to be winning these games, guys. You can't be losing 1-0 at home to Stoke City when Stoke City are basically were one of the bottom 6 teams. They're now a middle 6 team. Norwich City 2, Plymouth 1. Now, say as much as I like, I'm not. They're not a great footballing side. They went 1-0 down to Plymouth, for God's sake. And Plymouth aren't brilliant. They're a good bottom 6 side, but they're not brilliant. It shows that they are beatable. And beatable in a way that doesn't bode well if they finish in the top 6. I just can't see them doing anything. But look what Luton did. Luton did that, and they got promoted to the Premiership. Why not? It could still happen. Preston 3, Rotherham 0. Rotherham seem to have stemmed the flow. Hopefully they won't let in more than 1 or 2. And perhaps even score 1. We might be lucky enough. QPR 1, Birmingham 1. And so they did put us down. We were dead and buried. We're now 20 points from 4th place, Birmingham. 20 points from 4th place, Birmingham, with 21 points left. We're still in the league. Just Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 1. Puts Sheffield Wednesday back in 23rd position. They were out of it. They were clear. They're now in 39 points, 39 games, and looking. It's so tight down there. Literally, Blackburn now. Blackburn who play later, don't they? Blackburn who play later. If Blackburn lose, and they're playing one of the top sides, they could be, they'd be on 42 points. And Sheffield Wednesday in 23rd are 3 points below them on 39. At the minute. But Huddersfield, 39. Birmingham, 40. We're talking, and then you've got the other teams that could easily drop into that melee are the ones above them, which are Birmingham, QPR, Plymouth, and Blackburn. Don't think Stoke City. No, Stoke City are another 3 points ahead of Blackburn. There's 6 points, 6 places. There are 6 teams that could get those last 2 relegation slots. So it is interesting. It's really heating up in the Championship. Let's just go to the League One. So I've actually been omitting my, and I can't even remember if I'd put this one on, but it's Barnsley 0, Cambridge 2. We know Derby 1, Blackpool 0. We know Exeter 1, Charlton 0. And just like usual, the Fleetwood usually come back at the end. And it's Fleetwood 1, Cheltenham 2. So Fleetwood, can they come back and get an equaliser? 6 minutes to get an equaliser. The thing is, if they could get an equaliser, they are actually not doing too bad. The two teams above them are actually winning. So that's a little bit difficult. Port Vale still winning 2-0. Yeah, put that one up. Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3. That was the amazing few minutes down there. We have actually got a goal there as well. Shrewsbury 1, Oxford 1. So we've got a goal there. Stevenage 0, Bolton 0, Wigan 1. We did a Wigan 1. I thought, yeah, we did Wigan 1, Burton 1. With this is a good goal at the top. We got Wickham 1, Portsmouth 3. They have scored more than 2. You see, I am totally wrong. Eat your words, John. So we're actually going to now nip back and we're going to go look at the bottom of League One. Why are you going to do this? Because I think, this is where Rotherham are going, so we might as well have a look at it. Because I follow the guy that does the lives from Fleetwood, and it's they had such a good team, and to see them where they are on 34 points, they're losing losing 2-1 at the minute against the team directly above them. So if they can actually get another goal, they'd be on 35 points. Literally 5 points from Burton. So they could actually get out of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you'd have to be above Burton. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you'd have to have those 4 above you. So they could quite easily catch, I think, with 6 games, 5 points. Yeah, they could do that. But 6 games, 6 points. No. 6 games, 6 points. I say 1 point per game at the top is doable. 1 point per game at the bottom when you're not scored, when you really don't win many, is actually quite difficult. Would I put anything past them doing something? Well, they might do, but I don't think they will. They would have to certainly turn that round. And that's another goal. I mean, we've got a goal there. That's interesting for them. Reading 1. Northampton 0. And a goal there. So Portsmouth still winning. Wigan Burton drawing. Stevenage Bolton drawing. Shrewsbury Oxford drawing. Reading are now beating Northampton. Port Vale is still beating Bristol Rovers. Carlisle are still beating Peterborough away. 0-0 with Lincoln. Fleetwood is still losing 2-1 at home to Cheltenham with 2 minutes left. Can they do it? Exeter 1, Charlton 1. Do we put that one on? I can't remember. What did we do? Exeter 1, Charlton 1. Ding, 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 ding. I can't remember. No, that's a new one then, is it? Oh, come down. Can't help it when he does that. It really annoys me. Yeah, we've got another goal there. So that's Exeter 1. Charlton 1. There's a couple of equalisers coming in. Derby still winning. Bolton are still drawing. It's like 89 minutes and the odds have just disappeared from Fleetwood. Oh, Cheltenham goal kick. I wonder what that was then. I wonder if that was a penalty. As we go into the Championship, because we have a goal at Huddersfield. What did I say about Huddersfield? They have been playing really well. They came back. Huddersfield should have been put to bed by Coventry. They didn't do it in time, and unfortunately, it's now Huddersfield 1, Coventry 2, with 87 minutes gone. Can they get an equaliser? They are playing good football. With the amount of time they got the ball, they are actually playing really well. When they've got it, they're doing well. When they haven't got it, they're in all defence mode. But that's typical Warnock. So, yeah, doing really well. Rotherham is still 3-0 down away to Preston. I'll go into the quick look as our striker loses it to the midfield of Preston. And Preston start attacking again. How surprising. So that's 2-1. Hull City are losing 1-0 to Stoke. Norwich 2, Plymouth 1, QPR 1, Birmingham 1. We got a goal at Southampton. I said it would only take Middlesbrough to push that high press and they could get that back. And sure enough, it's Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1. Let's see what that does to the top. Let's actually see. I'm on the wrong league there. Let's go back into the Championship. And we'll go back to that one there. Oh, it's only just gone in 90 minutes. Emmanuel Latte-Lat on 90 minutes. So Latte-Lat scored on 90 minutes. Let's see if it's changed. Put that. I don't think it's put that up there yet. My league at the minute says Southampton in 4th on 74 points. I don't think that has actually changed. No, that's not going to have changed it. So they're going to go down 2 points to 72. They're going to be 10 points behind with 8 games left. All of a sudden, Southampton, you ain't got a chance of being top 2. I really cannot see it. I think you've just blown it. Southampton have blown it. So it looks like Southampton have blown it. Barnsley have blown it in League One. That 2-0 defeat to Cambridge is not what they would have expected. Carlisle look like winning. They're on 91 minutes, 3-1 up against Peterborough. My other local side, 87 minutes. It's Wickham 1, Portsmouth 3. Even a draw with 3 minutes to go and extra time, extra time, is 50-1 against. So you could only take that from that Wickham are not showing any signs. The first red card, actually, it's Wimbledon 1 red card, and Harrogate Town 1. So the Wimbledon have come back to equalise, but they are actually on the first. Oh, they have actually got a red card. Doncaster have got a red card as well, but that's going to Crawley 0, Doncaster 1. Oh, Milton Keynes 5, Walsall 0. And it's Salford 1, Sutton 2, Swindon 2, Notts County 1, Wrexham now 2, Mansfield 0. Anything else? I think all the rest. Colchester 1, Newport 1. I think that might have changed. Bradford 2, Tranmere 1. Barrow 3, Grimsby 1. So League 2 has a few goals going in there. Let's just skim upwards through League 1. Trying to make sure that you've all, if you're on replay, you actually see, you know what I'm doing. Oh, we've got to go at QPR. We've got to give it QPR. QPR. Are them going down, or are we safe for another week? We're safe for another week. QPR 2, Birmingham 1. That almost certainly says that Rotherham are safe for one more game. We don't get relegated before Easter. By hook or by crook. That's just changed. Yeah, that's just changed. Oh my God. Right, okay, so that's Hull City 0, Stoke 2. So that one's now well out of range of Hull City, I think. It's 94 minutes. Stoke City are 2-0 up. So that one looks like finishing. Norwich are 2-1 up against Plymouth at home, but it's 92 minutes, so that should be calling it a day soon. QPR, 94 minutes, and they've managed to grab the late winner. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 1, Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1. That's 96.5 minutes. And we're galloping into the end. I'm going to put my tablet on now, because this is a really good point at which to go back and watch the different scores turn red. So we have Bristol City 1, Leicester 0 from this morning. We have Millwall 1, Bristol City 1, Leicester 0 from this morning. As games start finishing there. Millwall 1, West Brom 1. We're doing our best to try and keep up with any really late goals. That's a late goal. That's a late goal. It's at Huddersfield. And Coventry put it to bed. Huddersfield 1, Coventry 3. That was just at the point where Huddersfield looked to be a little bit more dangerous. You get that push, and all of a sudden we've got, you're out. Bye-bye. So Huddersfield are now pushed back into that quagmire. Yeah, but the point I'm making with that is that their goal difference of minus 21 is actually quite poor. And with Birmingham being on minus 18 and on the same points, and then just 2 points ahead, Plymouth on minus 9, and on 42 points, 3 points ahead, Blackburn on minus 13. you can't help thinking that every goal for Huddersfield is absolutely essential. Birmingham now out of the bottom three on goal difference by 3 goals. It's looking as they all start to finish now. And just refresh that, and we should start to see a few reds coming in. So Hull City have now lost at home to Stoke City. So it is indeed Hull City 0, Stoke City 2. We are awaiting. Oh, yeah, I thought that one had just finished then. I can check them on both. So Cardiff City still playing at 2-0 to Sunderland. Coventry City still playing 3-1 to Coventry. Norwich City still playing Norwich City 2, Plymouth 1. Rotherham still playing 3-0 to Preston. QPR still playing 2-1 to QPR. Sheffield Wednesday have drawn 1-1 at home to Swansea. Southampton have drawn 1-1 at home to Borough. So we've just got 5 games left. Not a lot can change. We would keep an eye on QPR has just finished. So QPR, what did we put QPR? QPR 2, Birmingham 1. That's now completed. As all the odds are now wiped, I take it that the games are all about to finish. Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, Huddersfield 1, Coventry 3, Norwich 2, Plymouth 1, Preston 3, Rotherham 0, QPR 2, Birmingham 1. The Cardiff game's now gone to 90 minutes. The QPR game's been put as 90 minutes. The Huddersfield game's now 90 minutes. The only games that are playing now are Norwich and Preston. So Norwich and Preston. Norwich 2-1 up. Preston 3-0 up. I think we know which way they're both going, but yeah, Norwich City have just won 2-1 at home to Plymouth. And here we go. That's it. The last one. Preston 3, Rotherham 0. And it's defeat for Rotherham. I just quickly look for you at bring it back. We're just going to quickly go through League One. I just want to go through League One. Barnsley are on 97 minutes, but they're going to lose. It's Barnsley 0, Cambridge 2 at the minute, still playing, but I can't see them playing for much longer. Derby 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 1, Charlton 1, Fleetwood finished 1, Cheltenham 2, Lincoln 1, Leyton Orient 0, Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3, Port Vale 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 1, Northampton 0, Shrewsbury 1, Oxford 1, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0, Wigan 1, Burton 1, and Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 3. I leave it there. Have a nice evening. I'll see you at the next game. We'll probably see Rotherham get relegated at that one. But hey, we never know. You never know. Maybe we can stretch it to game 41. Who knows? From me, it's goodbye and over and out. Thank you very much.